Print out your template, and you can scale your template a little bit smaller by adjusting the percentage while you're printing. And cut out the template and roll out a clay slab and place the template on the clay slab, and then cut out according to the template. Then there is the body, is a cone shape, and the wings, the head and the hair, and that is also the hair here. So once you've done that, you cut out the shape and you use a needle tool or maybe a round-headed tool, something like this, and go and do the tracer pattern. So once you've done that, and use a dry brush and to get rid of all the little pieces. So it is better to do it right now before you assemble the cone, because this is much easier to work it on a flat surface. So all the clay pieces rolled out to around 1/2 centimeter. And with the hair, that is the fringe on the head, I would like to roll it maybe much thinner, maybe just 2 millimeters, that would do. So right now we can assemble the cone. So this is the body. Once you have done all the patterns that you wish, and you will take a wooden strip. So you will put the wooden strip on one end of the attached side there, and take your knife, a pointy knife, and put it in an angle like this. So to go in at an angle and then cut like this. You can see here the cut is not straight, it's slanting down like that. Then you will need to flip the clay to the other side, and then also use a pointed knife, cut it at an angle. So then you have a very nice seam when you assemble it. Then use one of the scoring tool. You can use a tool like this, or you can use a knife. Do a lot of scoring, yeah, on both sides. So I use a tool like this, flip. Then now it's time to assemble it. And use slip. Slip is the clay powder, dry clay powder mixed with water, and that's how you assemble. We seal the joint, not right to the top, because we need to put the head, the neck on it. So use one of these two, scrape it together, as you can see. And give it a good tap at the bottom. Yeah, give it a good tap. And if you look inside here, there's the seam, so it would be good to put more slip inside to strengthen it. And ideally, maybe roll out a little sausage clay for extra bonding, and then put it inside on the seam there. And then use a wooden tool to press the sausage clay into the seam, then the bonding is really strong. And once you have done that, you can use a spatula to kind of pedal it. If the cone shape is not perfect, then try to pedal it into a round shape and then pedal the bottom a little bit. So now it comes to the head. What you would do is wet your fingers with water and then smooth the head here, the edge here. Put it in here. Maybe the neck is too thick or whatever. You can actually trim it a little bit to fit. You can put the hair on. So the hair rolled out is thinner, around 2 centimeters. Then maybe we can take a little cut here just to make the fringe a bit nicer. And maybe draw some lines here. So do a little bit scoring here. And then put some slip on and then attach the hair. Squeeze all the water out and then smooth the surface a little bit. So now we go and attach the wings. Before we attach the wings, we use a sponge to kind of smooth all the edges on the wings first. Because once we attach the wings, then you go and smooth it, then it can easily disjoint the wings to the body. So it's better we smooth it now. So the wing is like this. You can do it like this. So do a bit of scoring here. Do a bit of scoring here and also at the back here. And give it a very generous amount of slip. It will be the best that roll a tiny piece of sausage, something like this, and then put it in here, put it on both sides, and use a wooden tool to really press it in. So then you have the wings really strong attached to the body. Then using a wet sponge. If the area that you can't reach it with the sponge, use a wet brush. And then clean the body and the wings is done. And now it comes to the hair piece here. So with this, again, we will use a wet sponge to smooth it first before we put it onto the head. If you don't want it that long, you can trim it shorter. So again, I will do a bit of scoring here all the way around the head here. And put slip all the way around. Then I'll put, and if you like, you can do some eyes, closing eyes and the mouth on the angel. If not, then this is done. Make sure use the wet sponge to run it around the bottom. You want the bottom, no funny bits, no sticking out pieces. You don't want to scrape your furniture. Make sure the bottom is smooth. Yeah, and then give it, hold the head, give it a little tap. Make sure that it's very stable on the table. Now it comes to Angel 2. Print out the template, cut it out, and then place it on a clay slab and trim it according to the template. Use a sharp knife. And use a needle tool, a sharp needle tool, and then go and do all the tracing of the patterns. Then use a round-headed tool. A round-headed tool, go and deepen the pattern. To drill a hole at the top here, that for you to put a ribbon through, then you can hang it on your windowsill or something. If the clay is a bit too wet, the pattern you drew on won't be that sharp, and also it's not easy to get rid of those tiny crumbs. So you can see here. So what you would do, take a hairdryer and then put it into glass. Make sure I don't really want to dry the whole piece of clay. I just want to dry the surface. So I just have a nicer pattern, you know. So when you dry this piece, what you will need to do, because it's quite thin, if you just leave it out in the air to dry, the corners might curl up. So I will need you to put it on a rigid board. So I have one of these wooden board. Place it on top, and then put a plastic sheet on top, and put a heavy book on top, and leave it dry like that. So your angel will dry flat. So this is angel number 2. The third angel, the number 3 angel, print out and cut the template, place it on the clay slab, trace it, and use a needle tool to trace the pattern. And with the dots there, then you can just poke it like that. When you pick up this angel, don't try to pick it up from the head there, because you can easily tear the neck. So pick it up from the bottom and hold the neck. Once you're done drawing the pattern, and it's better to use a hairdryer, the whole piece of clay dry, just the surface, so you can get rid of all the little pieces of clay that you don't want. So spend the time and doing that, then make sure the edge here that it's not splitting. If it's splitting, then make sure that clean it up. Yeah. You will need a hole on the top there for it to put a string or ribbon on it. What you need to do, place it on a rigid board, put it on a piece of plastic on top, and put a heavy book, something heavy to put on top, and then leave it dry like that for a few days. Then your angel will be drying flat. The corners won't curl up. So this is number 3. Angel is done.